Hey guys, let's get more news about Dallas, but first, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a like. NFC East rival praised for poaching Commanders' top pass rusher. Dante Fowler must really loving living in Dallas. The Dallas Cowboys thought so little of Fowler following the 2023 season they let him go to the Washington Commanders in free agency and didn't even give it a second thought. How little did they think of Fowler? They didn't bother to match the one-year, $3.25 million contract he signed with the Commanders in March 2024. What a difference a year makes. Fowler's return to Dallas in 2025 on a one-year, $8 million free agent contract was singled out as the Cowboys' smartest offseason decision by Bleacher Report's Gary Davenport following a career renaissance for Fowler on the Commanders in 2024. Fowler led the team with 10.5 sacks during the regular season and helped lead Washington to the NFC Championship game for the first time since 1991. After splitting with veteran DeMarcus Lawrence this offseason, the Cowboys had a significant need opposite star edge rusher Micah Parsons, Davenport wrote. They filled that need by bringing back veteran Dante Fowler Jr. for a second stint with the team. Fowler's ninth season was one of his best, as he tallied 10.5 sacks last year with the Washington Commanders. Fowler was a reasonably priced signing for a team not exactly swimming in cap space, and he'll fill one of the Cowboys' biggest needs. The Commanders were encouraged to offer Fowler a contract extension late in the season as he became one of the key defensive pieces on a team that advanced to the NFC Championship game for the first time since 1991. Fowler played for Washington on a one-year, $3.25 million contract in 2024. One of the former Cowboys that Quinn lured over from Dallas, the 30-year-old has been impactful as a rotational edge rusher this season, Bleacher Report's Matt Holder wrote on November 27. The Commanders should be looking to get younger on the edge, but Quinn knows what he has in Fowler. Extending an offer before Fowler hits the open market again would be sensible. The Commanders have already been criticized for their biggest move of the offseason so far, signing defensive tackle Javon Kinlaw to a 3-year, $45 million contract. Javon Kinlaw, I think, was the biggest shock deal early on, the Ringer's Steven Ruiz said on March 10. 3 years, $45 million for a player that has largely been forgotten since his days in San Francisco. Kinlaw was a free agent last year and signed a one-year, $7 million contract and had 2.5 sacks in 12 games. He wasn't even on my radar as a top 50 free agent. Fowler was a two-time All-SEC pick at Florida before the Jacksonville Jaguars drafted him with the number 3 overall pick in the 2015 NFL Draft, but his career got off to a terrible start when he tore his ACL on the first day of minicamp his rookie year and followed with a scandal, when he was illegally fined $700,000 by Executive VP and former head coach Tom Coughlin, which led to Coughlin's firing in December 2019. The Jaguars traded Fowler to the Los Angeles Rams midway through the 2018 season, where he played his way into a one-year, $12 million contract in 2019 and a 3-year, $45 million contract with the Atlanta Falcons in 2020. Breaking: Cowboys just pivoted away from Dak Prescott in massive way. The Dallas Cowboys know that the 2025 season will be under a microscope. After paying Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb prior to last season, championship expectations immediately followed. However, by the time the season was halfway over, injuries had derailed their season. 2025 will mark a new era for the Dallas Cowboys. In addition to signing free agents and acquiring players through trades, Dallas also has an entirely new coaching staff, led by Brian Schottenheimer. They have a whole new plan. The plan for the offense is to go through the run, Sanders said via DallasCowboys.com. You don't get too many places where the offensive coordinator is an offensive line coach, and I know he's playing a big part in the plan. I'm excited. Obviously, running the football was a major weakness for the Cowboys for the majority of the 2024 season, with Rico Dowdle's late-season emergence standing as the only silver lining to their rushing attack all season. so it should be no surprise that the team would look to improve that part of their offense in a big way. Signing Sanders should help in that regard as well. While he did struggle in his time with Carolina, Sanders was one of the more effective backs in the league in his 4 years with the Eagles, using his ability to both run the ball and catch the ball out of the backfield to total 3,708 yards and 20 touchdowns on the ground and 942 yards and 3 scores receiving. Cowboys can't hide interest in stud LB after sending big guns to pro day. While the Dallas Cowboys have been relatively active in free agency, it would be nice to see them make a couple more moves over the next couple of weeks. As currently constructed, the roster still has far too many pressure points for our liking going into the draft. That doesn't mean the front office can't sign players after the draft or even right before training camp, but it doesn't take an NFL expert to recognize Dallas' work is far from finished. Based on the Cowboys' moves in free agency, wide receiver, cornerback, running back and defensive tackle are shaping up to be their primary focuses in the draft. But what about linebacker? While the additions of Kenneth Murray and Jack Sanborn vastly improve the depth, surely defensive coordinator Matt Eberflus isn't satisfied with the room. It wouldn't surprise if drafting a linebacker is in play in round 3 and beyond. It seems at least one LB is on Dallas' radar. According to Fox Sports insider Jordan Schultz, South Carolina talent Demetrius Knigh Jr. met with at least 5 linebacker coaches, including the Cowboys and Eberflus. A former quarterback prospect, Knigh played in college for 6 years, spending his first 4 seasons at Georgia Tech before transferring to UNC Charlotte and then South Carolina, respectively, for his final 2 years. You won't be surprised to learn he's an older prospect. He'll turn 25 years old before his rookie season. In 2 seasons with the Gamecocks, Knigh compiled an astounding 178 tackles, 14 of which registered a loss, 3.5 sacks, 4 interceptions, and 3 forced fumbles. Given his age, though, it's fair to question how much more development he has left. Ryan Fowler of the Draft Network calls Knigh a good, but not great, run defender. Per Fowler, the former Gamecock can shoot the gap with the best of them, but struggles to shed and stack blocks and at times doesn't fit his crease as early as he should. While Fowler noticed some tackling inconsistencies in Knight's tape, he is enamored with Knight's coverage ability. Man or zone, he's instinctive and smart in the middle of a defense with as much range at the position as any LB in the class, Fowler writes. Knigh might have more flaws than the Cowboys are comfortable with for an older prospect, but he has the instincts and athletic ability to immediately improve a defense. The only issue is Dallas doesn't own a 4th-round pick and they may not want to spend the number 73 overall pick on a linebacker depending on what needs remain after its first 2 selections. While linebacker is a need, cornerback, wide receiver, running back and defensive tackle should be prioritized in the first 3 rounds. It also couldn't hurt to replenish the offensive line after losing future Hall of Famer Zach Martin to retirement. And you fan? What do you think about Demetrius Knight's situation? Write to us in the comments.